if honestly if some people are gonna join because I don't know what is the interest for pharmas,
Yeah.
but I just know that yeah sometimes like Monica is also sharing some pharma in the group. Um, Emmanuel,
Yes, hi.
hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good, good. I just saw that you actually turned on your microphone. I don't know if you wanted to say something, but yeah, just before I'm just gonna say yeah, I was planning to go over some of the pharmas. There are some that I have that actually that might be really good opportunities. So we'll see at the end, basically once the vaccine is released. But some of them might be really great opportunities. So that's why I wanted to share that with the group and see if other people also are watching some pharmas. So are you watching some, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I've been watching a couple ones recently. Uh, Personally, I don't really trade based on news, but I most likely focus on technical analysis and insiders trade. Insiders are like insiders trade, right? So I saw recently a couple $1 million invested in some of the therapeutic companies,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in one which was working on vaccines. It went approximately 300% recently. I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's probably gonna do a draw like a pullback before it continues.
Mm-hmm.
But then there is one I have a couple ones that I'm looking into, and they
Mm-hmm.
look pretty ready to move on.
Are you able to write them in the chat? I would like to take a look at them, the one you're watching. If you can see the names too, that would be
Yeah.
great. So I can check.
So
Just a question. You see my screen right now?
Yeah, I can see it, Bryce. You're good.
yeah, I can see
Okay,
it.
perfect.
MOSY.
MOSY, right? So they're looking for a vaccine, right?
Yeah.
Under $2. So do you have some
Yeah.
of
I usually personally I like to Yeah, personally, I like to invest in a kind of a micro stock because they kind of have a potential to do big moves. Like these ones can easily do a 300 200% gain, rather than let's say $100 company moving to 300 in a couple months.
hmm
But like a $2 company can easily go to $6.
yeah. But it looks like this one there are
Uh,
semiconductors, right?
there's another. Mm.
Let's
Emmanuel,
see.
question for you there.
So this is mostly right. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
mostly. No, I was just gonna say, when you're investing in that, like that high of volume from shares, and you said that obviously it can go from like you're looking at micro stocks, right? So they can obviously gain a couple dollars, but of course, the same amount of time you can obviously lose that amount. Um, how do you kind of manage your risk there? Do you kind of like set stop losses to manage your risk, or what is your kind of way to combat the risk there?
So yeah, for this one, personally, I don't do day trading, so I really do just long-term trading. And in terms of risk, I really kind of limit my risk in a way that I can invest like 5%, maximum of 5% per company. And when I invest it, I'm like, okay, if it goes all the way to zero, I'm ready to lose that zero. Let's say, for example, in this one, I can invest like $200 to $500, for example. But when it does a 200%, it's not. If it does a 100 or 200% gain, I would be happy with that. And if I lose, let's say I lose one or two, but I maximize on let's say I take 10 trades. I lose 2 to 5, and I maximize on 5. That's 50%, 50%. But it is also really hard for the company to go all the way to 0, 0, 0.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you are ready, you are willing to leave your money in there and wait for it to gain, well, it's really gonna pay back.
Mm-hmm. And usually, so
That's
basically,
that's the kind of mindset I put on. I
so
put on.
you say that
Yeah.
you do long term, so basically you don't know exactly when
Uh-huh.
a good news is gonna happen, right? With those stocks.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, but that's the other reason why. So I use that's the other reason why I use technical analysis to guide me. Can you take, for example, open VBIV?
Yeah, I have this one.
I'll show you how.
This is
Okay.
hourly.
So this one, if you put an RSA, put a daily.
RSI daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So personally, I combine insiders trade and technical analysis. So if you look, this was, I think, when it was at 1.65 or something like that. Can you go
Mhm.
back?
Around here, probably. That was in March, 165. So after COVID, it's around here.
Maybe in April, right here.
Mm. Yeah, around here. Is it at that point
Yeah,
you
around.
bought? Mm.
Yeah. So, uh, okay. So the first thing that I do, I look at insiders. If I see a lot of money is being invested in that specific company, and then I look at the RSI. If the RSI is above 30,
Mm.
30 is between 30, 40 and up, that means it is like it is in the positive, it is in the buy zone. And
Mm-hmm.
if I see a lot of money being invested in that specific company, I buy it. Now, when I look, and then I stay in the trade,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I see it going over 70 or 80 in the RSA, then I can
Mm-hmm.
sell.
Mm-hmm. So you trade
So
only
like
with the
today, I
RSI, right?
sold I sold all my share in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You sold everything today.
So
And
today I sold
so
my
you do
share in
only
this. Yeah.
RSI, right? When you trade.
Mhm. I use RSI. I also use CCI, commodity. What is CCI, and what is the other one? And MACD.
The MACD as well. And you combine all of them together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Really great to know.
I usually combine all of them when I found myself when I don't really have enough information about the company,
Mm-hmm.
or if I don't see a lot of money being invested.
Mm-hmm.
So I just if I don't see a lot of money, I can then like rely on technical analysis. But if I see money and then I see technical analysis, it gives me a little bit more confidence to get into it. And then there, also that the fact that there are support level and resistance. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see it at a support and you see money coming in, and you see also the all other technical analysis like these signals, well, that
Mm-hmm.
can actually help you have have
Mm-hmm.
more confidence in it. Yeah.
Okay. No, great to know. How do you know about the insiders? Where do you check for insiders?
So for insider, I use FinViz.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can also use stock twitch or stock twitch, I think.
Stock tweets.
Yeah, stock twitch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great.
And there is also guru something.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Okay. Yeah, that's good because I think it's great. Like, once you have looks like a great strategy. I used to trade with MACD as well. RSI, it's always great to know, at least when things are not overbought, so you don't buy or sell at this point, might be a bit risky. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's great.
yeah,
Are you looking at, I know that this one, I think they were looking for the vaccine because they are doing vaccines, right? VBI vaccines. And they were doing really well since March, actually. They are just,
yeah. They were looking at like,
yeah. So are you looking at some other ones, some other pharma?
yeah. I'm looking at SLNO. This one, I've seen an investment of
Oh, okay.
around 18 million.
Mm-hmm. When?
I see two big investment companies. Huh? They bought this recently.
Mm-hmm.
They bought this recently. The when here you see the big move, the big move, the first big move there, the bullish
The
move.
the drop? Which one?
Yeah, that one
This one,
there.
yeah.
No, the drop. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was one insider who bought around 12 million that day, and
Mm-hmm.
then a couple days after, I saw a director who also bought something, and then another investment
Mm-hmm.
firm bought something there. And then when you look at
Mm-hmm.
the RSI, you can see that it's coming from the oversold level and it's going
Mm-hmm.
up, which tells me
Mm-hmm.
which tells me that buyers are getting in and they are ready to move.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
So as you can see, it was in the over. Yeah. Let me just finish that. So it was in the overbought level,
mm-hmm.
and then it dropped all the way down to the oversold level. When it's under 30,
Mm-hmm.
that's oversold.
Mm-hmm.
So there, yeah, it was in oversold, and then as it growing up, and what I call this is called bullish divergence. So it
Mm-hmm.
shows that the RSI is going up. However, the price is not going up that much. So if you
Mm-hmm.
look at the price, it's kind of on an horizontal line, like a
Mm-hmm.
support level. However, the RSI shows a kind of a trend line,
Yeah.
an uptrend, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's moving up, which means buyers are getting in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Manuel, we
So,
had one question from Lila there, or
mhm.
Layla. She just asked if you could write in the two
Yeah,
websites that you named after FinViz.
Mhm.
So, I
yeah,
mean,
for
yeah,
sure.
if you could just type
Sorry.
that in the chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Just a second.
so that would be really great because knowing that now, that a lot of companies are going into their third stage, right? So, I think Moderna is going into the third stage trial for the vaccine, and people actually think that they have a vaccine, right? So, if you're able to know the insiders, it's really gonna like be important. Like it would be great if you can share that too, if you're following some of the companies and if you have information about insiders that are doing the test, right? That are actually doing the test on the vaccine. That would be awesome if you can share that. So if
Mhm.
yeah, if anyone else has some companies that they are watching for COVID, just please write them in the chat. That would be great.
Bryce, this is not so much companies, but more just general questions on pharma.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can answer them, or maybe someone else in the group here can answer them. So me, I'm always nervous to invest into pharma just because I always see high jumps and then high drops.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to see that with a lot of different pharma companies.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ones I noticed today, I noticed we've noticed Novavax and Moderna going up really high, but then I think I saw Moderna drop pretty heavy today.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions I guess I'd have is how exactly do you make judgments or decisions to when to invest into like those companies? Is it money that you're just kind of saying I don't really care if it kind of goes up or down with, or is it kind of money you're confident that it will go up with? Um, like how exactly do you kind of make your decision on that when to
Mm-hmm.
invest and when not to on pharmas?
Mm. I would say with pharmas, what is really interesting is that if you know the field, if you know how people are doing vaccine, for instance, Moderna, they are doing a new strategy that I know because I used to work with. So I know like how the biology works behind it, right? So if it makes sense to me, then I would think, yeah, that makes sense. It might go, they might be the first one to get it. So it's always, first of all, if you know the industry, that's a way better. Otherwise, there is, as Emmanuel said, it's great to kind of trade the events in a sense that you know that something is going to happen. It might go up, it might go down. There is a high risk, so you can still manage that risk by putting less money, so by managing your money differently. And especially for those looking at COVID, what I found really interesting during COVID is that all of the companies that was working on a vaccine, they all went up, right? So no matter which company you would have invested in, at one point you could have leave with a profit. But yeah, something I would say is that it's really based on events, and it can go up, down, as we know, and just you can lose a lot, right, at the same time. So you can make a lot, you can lose a lot based on the event. And what is great also is that the stages have dates as well, right? So you can see when the third stage is coming, when it's going to be done. And if you're able to know the insiders, to see what the insiders are doing, insiders are people that are, let's say, working on the vaccine. Some people are going to invest, right? So if they found something before even releasing, they're going to invest in the company because they know it's going to go up. So those are the insiders. So if you're able to know that information, then it's great. Always a good thing. I don't know if that answered your question.
In many ways, it does. It was just more of a information learning question.
Mm,
But yeah, no, if there's anyone else that wants to speak towards it, by all means. But yeah, no, you definitely answered a lot of it, Bryce.
mm. Okay, so yeah, so there is this thing, for instance, Moderna went down today, and it was a big drop, 12%. At the same time, I find that those companies, when they are not doing, or while they are doing their testing, and before they actually find something or they have to release something, nothing is really happening, right? So if you look at Moderna, for instance, you see there is it goes up and then for a few days there is nothing happening. Then it goes up again and goes down. Nothing is happening for many days. And then we'll see, right? So the next stage, which is the third one, which is technically the last one, if they pass this test and you're the first one, then might be really great to have this stock, right? And I would say maybe even to sell the same day because I don't think it's going to stay up after.
Yeah, I've noticed that those peaks that happen, those
Mm,
spikes, I should say, those are kind of when you should really set your stop losses because
mm,
if you don't, you can really lose a lot of money there. And
mm,
I've come to realize that like a lot of people in pharma can depend on those, and
mm,
like they tend to invest more at that point,
mm,
which can actually result, especially if it takes a heavy, like you can see on your screen right there, that's a huge line of just green candlesticks. But
mm,
at the end there, and then if it turns, if someone were to invest more at the top of there and that goes down, you're very likely to lose a lot more money there, right? So
mm.
it's very important in that respect to
Yeah.
make sure you're setting your stop losses there.
Mm. It's also great to know that some companies like Moderna, Novavax, also I'm gonna show Novavax, they are not profitable companies, right? So they're basically gonna search the vaccine. If they find it, that's great. But you see, for instance, they went up to $300, and one point they were at $4, right? So they are not really profitable companies, but we know that they have a technology, right? That they have something. One thing is that other companies, like the other one I was watching, Regeneron, this one is, it's a big company, right? And they're still looking on the vaccine. So it doesn't matter if they find it or not. If they find it, it might go up like a lot. But at the same time, if they don't find it, you can even leave your money, right? And you don't really lose it. It's still gonna go up in the future after, right? So that's an interesting. So this is Regeneron. They are looking for the vaccine, and otherwise there is still always Johnson and Johnson that is gonna figure out a way to, let's say, be part of it, right? So work with the one that found the vaccine. So still, once they have an opportunity, it might be, it's still a big company, right? So it's not like a small company that you can just lose everything when you invest in. So that's another way to cover your risk and make sure that you don't invest too much and yeah, you don't lose too much.
Here's a general question. Go ahead,
Another thing that I would like to
Go ahead.
point out, actually, uh, yeah, another thing is to actually be to stay away from FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. If you there are a lot of these pharmaceutical companies that are doing that, like they open pre-markets with a really high, and then they can go even higher at the opening, but then by the end of the day they're gonna drop like crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit risky. So if you find something that went high the day, like it went high before the market, make sure before you enter it you are really sure about what you are entering in, and just not follow the crowd, or um, being afraid of missing out on the opportunity. It's better being in the market before and wait for it to move, rather than moving with the trend as soon as you see it moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, if you look for AIKI,
Aikido Pharma, right? Mm-hmm.
yeah, these guys are working on the vaccine too, and as you
Mm-hmm.
can see, that drop last time,
Mm-hmm.
this drop happened today, but the I saw it the first time when it did that first drop there, the big one in May, I think.
In May. Mm-hmm.
So they did a really good gain pre-market. It was really high, and they announced that they're gonna be working on the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and they were even among the first companies to go to the second level of the vaccine. So people even bought it at a really higher price, but then as you can see, it hasn't even recovered yet.
Mm-hmm.
So just make sure you don't really get to the market as per the pressure of uh, not missing out.
Mm-hmm. Anything, Chris, you wanted to add?
No, that was actually valuable information there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I noticed that people, once they see that spike, that they'll consider investing in more, and that just goes straight to what Emmanuel said. Um, that drop, if you were sitting at the top of that red candlestick, you would be holding on to it, and you'd be moving with the pressure of things, not so much with beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually valuable information.
Yeah, totally. So every time you see big jumps in the morning, I think it's always great to watch those stocks. They are also, there is a lot of volume on those. So a lot of people are buying and selling. So it might be great, easy to trade, maybe day trade. But at the end, when it's too much, you cannot really expect it to stay up, right? We know it's going to go down. People are going to sell fast, right? As soon as it's going to go up. So, yeah, something to know for sure. So,
Um,
yeah.
Bryce, one thing I was going to kind of just throw out there, and maybe you can kind of tell me if you've noticed it yourself.
Mm,
I noticed that so a lot of the companies you have on your right there, I call them, I just call them big companies, so like Tesla, Shopify, Zoom, so on and so forth, Amazon.
mm,
I noticed when all these companies are green, the pharmas tend to be red. So,
yeah.
so today a lot of the farmers are red, and I noticed when the farmers are red, a lot of these companies tend to be green. Sorry, tend to be
Hmm.
red. Um, is that a trend you've kind of noticed yourself? Is that something that I wonder if there's any correlation there, or if it's just coincidence, or something?
Yeah.
Is that something you've noticed?
Yeah, it is. And I couldn't get it today. Actually, I was looking at everything. So all of this is all of my watch list, right? So you see all of it is green. And those are the pharmas, all red. And the thing is that, except this one, the rest it's all, yeah, all the pharmas that I have. And the thing is that I realized that also last week, right? So last week I wanted to enter some positions, but you see that everything is just going down, right? Everything is red. And I guess for few companies too. So I couldn't get anything last week. Everything was just in my pharmas. I don't exactly know why, to be honest. I don't know if maybe Emmanuel, I don't know if you know, if you have an idea.
Not 100% sure, but there is definitely a correlation in different companies. But I haven't really put a lot of attention into finding it in stock. But
Hmm.
yeah, I know there are correlations, like especially in crypto, I see a lot of correlations.
Hmm. Because I feel that maybe it's just related that if people need a vaccine or not, right? So once we have good news and maybe we don't need a vaccine anymore, then the other companies are going up. And if it's the opposite and
Mm.
everyone is like, yeah, we have to wait for it, then it goes down. I don't know exactly, but that
I
might be
would love to
something like that.
find out what that correlation is, though. Like, just it
Hmm.
would make trading a lot more understandable, especially when it comes to pharmas.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously with the bigger companies. But no, if we could I mean, if someone ends up watching this video at some point and they know the answer, feel free to let us know in the group.
Hmm.
Um, we would love to know.
That's good. And yeah, Emmanuel said that the crypto also. So this is the
But
Bitcoin.
if
Sorry.
mm. But if you use common sense, just adding on that correlation, if you just use common sense too, like those technological companies, they're into technology, and when we are in this breakdown and social distancing, we are more focused on technology, so they must go high, and those farmers, they are against it, against this all this lockdown. So if technology, if there is a good news for the farmer, probably the technological companies will go down. And if there is a good news around technology, for example, probably the other ones will go down, the farmer ones.
Hmm.
I mean, logically, that does make sense. But I look at it from an interest of I wonder if it's specific news that would be kind of triggering towards it, or is it just like you said, is it just kind of like the average Joe, where one just kind of correlates the other, or is it kind of like something specifically is kind of pushing one down and the other one up? You know, like is it saying that hey, we have a potential vaccine, so um, technology companies like Zoom are going to start to go down? But that doesn't mean certain other technology companies should go down,
Mm.
right? Um, like Facebook would still be averaging around the same thing, but I think the trend I've noticed is like even companies that were doing well technology wise pre COVID, or even during COVID, they
Mm.
tend to move the opposite of pharma. So whether it's hey, we have a vaccine or we don't have a vaccine, it's still kind of the trend moves the same way, um, even with companies that don't really depend on work from home situations or the COVID side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Chris, do you know something about VXRT? Because I've heard about this one too.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know if they're looking for the vaccine, but yeah, if you can say something about it.
Emmanuel, I
Emmanuel?
think we're about to say something, Emmanuel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was just saying, like, if you use FinViz, you can see a big picture, like a map of the different industries. So, and most of the time, how it goes is like the big company. You see this map here. So the bigger company will kind of lead the trend. If Microsoft and Apple are going down, most of the time, many other technology company will go down too. And when the farmer, if you go in the farmer and you see the bigger ones, like the bigger ones are going up, they will probably bring the smaller one as well. So you can just have it can just maybe it can just help you to have a better perspective of the whole industry as you are doing your research.
Mm-hmm. Are you able to check
So when
by
you're here, if
mhm,
you go to maps, yeah.
mhm. How do you put it by sectors or
So yeah, you can.
if I want to look at all the pharmas or all the biopharmaceuticals, how do I do that? Do you know?
It's in healthcare. It should yeah, medical device. You see this part here, right? Like you see how it is kind of divided. It's divided in technology, communication, healthcare,
Oh,
consumer,
okay, healthcare. Mm-hmm.
real estate, investment. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think ABBV was working on the vaccine too, right? And Jailhead as well.
Not too sure.
Yeah, I think those two, this one as well, MRTA.
Bryce, you asked me
They're,
about VXRT.
yeah,
Um,
VXRT.
that one, I know they're working on the cure, but they're also working on vaccines for other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I haven't invested in it personally, but we do have a friend that has invested in it. And
Mm-hmm.
what they passed on to me was that it's a company that works on several different cures, or several different vaccines, I should say. So that
Mm-hmm.
if COVID doesn't quite pan out for them, they do have other things that they're working on, and that's what their stock price is kind of surrounded off of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because they did well, right, during the last
Mm.
weeks or the last
Yeah.
months. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's good. So I don't know if anyone else is looking at other pharmas that would be that they can share. I'll
It
just
looks like
read. Yeah,
yeah, it looks like
sorry.
Umesh
Yeah.
sent a link in there.
Mm-hmm. So a virus tracker. Okay, I don't know exactly what it is, but would be great to take a look at.
Yeah, so at the tracker, you can see which stock is at different phases and has been
Mm-hmm.
approved. So it's a good read to check how everything is progressing. It has all, I think it has majority of it.
Oh wow, really great. And it's updating, right? Every day it's the
Mm.
same thing and it's updating.
I don't know how frequent it is, but it shows, I think it's up to date because I was looking at phase 3 or phase 2. If you
Mm-hmm.
click on phase 2, you see Moderna in there, I think.
I cannot click on it.
Oh no, if you scroll down, there should be tabs. Scroll down. Yeah, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll up. Yeah, so phase 2. Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Mm.
Wow, that's really good.
This, this is actually really useful. I never.
Yeah.
Thanks for Mish for sending this over.
It's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, I'm gonna
one
share that
that's
to the group,
approved, which
or please,
surprised me.
Ramesh,
If
if
you
you can
go
send it to
click
the
on the
group.
approved one, which surprised me, but
Mm.
um,
CanSino Bio,
yeah.
Sino. It's just
Yeah.
it's just limited approval.
Mm-hmm. And it works with countries. So I guess in different countries, different groups are looking for the vaccine and also. Wow, that's really great. Yeah, please, Ramesh, if you can send it to the
Yeah.
group, would be awesome to follow. Wow, okay, that's good. So, all right, at this point, I
Very
don't know if
interesting.
there, yeah. Oh, sorry, Shanti is looking at DVAX, right? I don't know if you guys know about DVAX. Have you heard of it before?
I have not, but go ahead. Let me know
No.
if you have.
Not really. What?
Oh, they are really. I think I've heard of them before. Looks like they're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they are quite. It's like a stable company, right? They have a lot of history, which is great. So maybe they're working on other vaccines as well. Something great I find with pharma is that some of them are working only on the COVID. So if they don't find anything, they're gonna take a big hit. But some others looking at other things at the same time, it's also great because it's more stable and less risky. Yeah, I haven't heard of those ones, but it's great to take a look at. Okay, anything else? That's great. I guess anyways, so I wanted basically to share everything in the group after, so we have stocks to look at, knowing that some of them are coming to the third phase before being approved. So at least we can just try. I guess if you have questions about the strategies, it's great that Emmanuel shared his strategy to trade those type of events, I would say. But I would suggest to maybe not put too much unless you really feel that, or you really know, maybe if you talk to insiders. The best is actually if you can talk to an insider, right? So someone that is doing the trial, something like that, that would be awesome. But otherwise, yeah, it's always better to play a bit safe just to make sure that we don't lose too much. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if you guys want to go over other stocks or just in general, if you have other stocks that you want to share to the group.
Did you guys? Is there anybody following crypto? Not in a way of investing in crypto, but the technology behind crypto, which is blockchain technologies.
Yeah, so I'm following crypto. Why is that, Emmanuel?
Okay. All right. So yeah, personally, I've been following that. But let's answer this question about ALT.
Yeah, it looks like ALT, or did I type it right? It's ALT, right? It looks like they're not searching the vaccine. They're working on something else. But so yeah, so they are not pharma. Let's see, what are they doing, just in general. Wow, what a big company. It seems like there was some good news about them, right? You see
That
how they are
was
coming
a
up.
huge.
Yeah, I don't know what happened at that time, but
Yeah.
yeah, but they're coming back, right? Probably they have some good news, so it actually looks like a good buy. And to be honest, I don't know exactly what are they doing and what they're planning to do, but
Yeah.
it looks like they're recovering from it. So
Actually, I wonder if they were about to go bankrupt, because one other thing that I've noticed with these companies that are going bankrupt is that when they announce bankruptcy, they really drop. They drop before they even announce it,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they announce it, they kind of stay quite a little bit, and then they gain a really high. They gain really high
Mm-hmm.
after the news about bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I haven't done a lot of research about it, but I've seen two or three of them. Like I've seen Whitening Petroleum and Hurt. They
Mm-hmm.
really did a pretty good move after they announced their bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we can do more research into that and see if it can be a good strategy.
Mm-hmm. It is. I think one thing
Yeah.
that
So
is
you
a
see
bit,
that pump.
yeah, from like less than $1 to $6, $7. The only thing that is risky with that is that if it actually
Yeah.
goes bankrupt, then you lose everything. So that's one thing to be careful.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm. But if you can,
So
yeah, take advantage of those
that's where
moves.
the risk management comes.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Mm.
So yeah, what you wanted to say about the crypto?
Yeah, so I've been following a lot of researchers about cryptocurrencies. I don't know about you guys, but it looks a little bit crazy what's coming up next in the market. Um, so just to bring it a little bit, like, to put it in a nutshell, it looks like the government is looking in a way to remove, especially the US government, which is the federal, they are looking in a way to remove cash and create their own crypto, which will be the federal crypto, and which they will allow people to start using. It's something that has not been, like, it's not put to the public yet, but big companies have already started investing in it. Companies like Visa, companies like JP Morgan, companies like Amazon, Google, they have a lot of shares in cryptocurrencies. And if you follow any cryptocurrency news, you can see that, which company is it? Coinbase. They say they have seen more transaction from institutions nowadays than ever before. Like, they are seeing millions and millions being transferred to them in cryptocurrency recently, and it's just like something is coming up. And there was even a patent that was introduced by Nancy Pelosi recently, and that patent was about removing the cash and paying even the stimulus dollar that they gave people for COVID. They're applying to they were looking into paying that stimulus in cryptocurrencies, but it was not
Mm-hmm.
approved, and they're working on it. So it's just like, if you guys can do your own research too, I think you can position yourself a little bit earlier in this trend that is coming up with these guys.
Do you know what's the name of the cryptocurrency that the government is starting?
And well, it hasn't been published yet at
Mm-hmm.
all. But when you look into, I can send you guys some of the reports that I have from different research companies. They actually explain you different cryptos, and they say exactly why, like, what that cryptocurrency is doing, or what is the idea behind that project.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are looking at the technology that comes behind this, which is the blockchain technology, and if you understand finance, understand the history of transaction and value, you can see how it solves a lot of problems. Like, the blockchain technology itself, what it does is that it's it's kind of a way to transfer value on the internet. You know how before people were using like balance sheets and they were using them on papers, but nowadays we start using balance sheet, we are using Excel sheet. But the problem with Excel sheets is that they are most of the time they are stored in one in a OneDrive, like in a one. The data is stored at one position in OneDrive, and if a hacker hacks that data, they have access to all the transaction, all the history, and everything. And what blockchain technology does is that it allows you now to make that type of transaction. So it's a ledger that you are able to decentralize. So anybody and everybody who has access to the ledger from anywhere, they can change and they can see the history of what happened with that specific value without having access to change it. And if you secure it, and because and when you put it on a ledger on a decentralized network, it's kind of putting a small part of the whole value or the whole data. It's putting the small part of it into different computers, which means if a hacker wants to hack something, they will have to hack at least let's say 1 million computers in order to have the full format of the data that they are looking for, which is the security that comes behind it. So I think if you guys do just a little bit more research into this and understanding the technology behind, you can see what this solves as a problem. And one of the ways to really see what can be like what can be really profitable in the future is seeing what solution does this bring on the market, what solution does this bring to people. The problem right now that people have is hackers, internet. Like, if you store all your data at one location, if somebody hacks that location or that location burns down, you lose everything. However, when you have a decentralized network, that means small part of the full data is divided in multiple computers. So even if one of the computers is down, you will still have something somewhere where you can find your data. And for somebody to have access to the whole thing and like to destroy everything, they will need to hack all those computers, which can take them years and years to even hack like half of those computers. So that's the solution that blockchain technology brings. And now that technology has a specific value that can be written on that technology, and that value is called cryptocurrencies. So that's how, in order for our society to use the blockchain technology, we will have to adapt cryptocurrencies. Even if we don't use it everywhere, at least it will be necessary to be used everywhere where they will be using blockchain. And blockchain technology is already being used by different banks. There are already credit cards that are using blockchain technologies, and so on and so forth. So I would just leave you guys with that.
Yeah, it's essentially having RAID system or RAID setups. Emmanuel, do you mind sending us the articles that you said you were going to send in the group chat for us?
Yeah, it's no problem. I can send those. I'll send them by WhatsApp because they are PDF files.
So what I was planning, probably next week, I'm gonna do an intro to, especially like talk about the Bitcoin. So just go over the history, why it was created, because I think that it's really important for, like, people should actually know about that, right? What is, how it is. I think that there is the technology part that is always a bit scary. So blockchain technology, it's a bit hard to understand. Especially if you're not into technology much. But I think that the Bitcoin itself, you don't really have to know about all of the technology behind it. Just have to know how that it exists, why it exists, and why it's something important that like might change the future of money and stuff. So I'm probably going to do an introduction next week. I know that a lot of people in the group are also interested in that. And eventually later we can even find how we can just go together so I can go over how to buy crypto and what is it, having actually buy it with less commissions and all of that. So, because commission is really high sometimes for crypto. So, yeah, that was my plan.
Yeah.
So, but thanks for that. That's really, I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds like a
yeah,
good, really good.
yeah, I really agree with you that it's really, really important. Like people should actually just know about that. And they can make really, especially extremely high profit in the future if you start knowing about that right now and you maybe start putting money in it. So converting your money and all, you can probably have really, really high return. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Think, think,
And another thing sorry, let me just add this a little bit. Another thing when talking about crypto and investment is just like investment itself is the game of risk, understanding risk. So when everybody is afraid of something, if you do your own analysis and you have potential or you have just enough research that can give you even 50% of confidence into that technology, that's a good that can be one of the good ideas to invest in. Because if you look at the years that when internet started, everybody was like, no, that's something that it doesn't mean anything, nobody understood it. But today, if you look at internet companies like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, you're going to see that those are the most, like the one that gained the most in the history. So it's just like when people are kind of afraid, and also especially when like the media is going against it, because you know how the media is the, their plan is to always give the most to the guys who pay them. And investment is what? In investment, you take the money from the guy who doesn't know what you know. That's what investment is actually. Because when you lose, that money goes to the winner. And when you win, it is the money that the other person lost. So the guys who have more money, they pay the media to tell you, hey, don't buy this, don't do this, don't do this, because they want to get it right now at a cheaper price. And then later on, when it's made public and they ask you guys, hey, you all need this now. Now they have all of it. They're gonna sell it to you at any price they want because they have it. So when the media is telling you not to look at something, probably that's where you need to look.
yeah, I totally agree with that. And yeah, a lot of
Just to say,
stocks are also directed by big, I would say, banks, and also they really direct the stock market. So it's great to know that, just know those things. And yeah, when there is news about things, always read and do your homework because it might be a great opportunity for sure. Okay, so I guess that's good for tonight. Thanks a lot, Emmanuel, and thanks, Chris, as well. So
thank you very
yeah,
much,
I'm
Chris.
gonna share the stocks that we talked about, so the pharmas in the group. That would be great also if Ramesh, you can send the link so we can follow all of the vaccine tracker. And also, yeah, for the rest, stock tweets, it would be great, Emmanuel, if you can share also Guru Focus and stock tweets so we can see, follow those insiders. I'm using stock tweets, but I'm gonna check more because I didn't know you can actually see who are the insiders. So I'm gonna follow that more. So yeah, thanks everyone and have a great.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. You want to say something before?
No, I was just trying to add on stock tweet. So stock tweet, you get the information, like you get the news be that is going in the ears of traders. So
Mm.
they can, like, if they say there is more insider who are buying, now they're just gonna say it, but they're not gonna show them. Now you need to do your research to find them.
Mhm.
So that's what I was just trying to say. But anyways,
Mhm.
we can
Okay.
I think we
Yeah.
are good for today. We can conclude from here. Yeah, we are done.